Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Sledge here with To The Point 101. Now, thank you for joining us as we continue our journey into positive discipline for your children. Today, we'll explore the vital role of community in parenting and how a united village can enhance our approach to raising well rounded, resilient kids. And together with compassion and collaboration, we can create a nurturing environment that supports our children's growth and development. So let's dive in here. It's been a while. It's been a while. It has been a while since we read about positive discipline. Okay. So now this here chapter is clothing power struggles. Okay. What should I do when my child refuses to wear the clothes I pick out? So, understanding your child, yourself, and the situation. You want children to learn to think for themselves, yet, too often you think for your children, especially in areas where children could safely have a say, like deciding what they'll wear. You want your children to develop a healthy self esteem, yet don't give them the opportunities to experience their own capability, a primary ingredient of healthy self esteem. You can avoid a lot of power struggles by looking for areas where your children can have positive power. Clothing is one of those areas. If you stop being concerned about what others will think of your child if they're not dressed properly, you can let clothing choices be a time for your child to develop a personal style and make an identity statement. That is so true. A lot of us want to be in the latest fashion. You know, when I was coming up, like if you didn't own a pair of Nikes, the latest sneakers, we called them skippies back in the day. Yes, we called them skippies. So that meant that, oh, you're poor because you cannot afford, a pair of name brand shoes. And so when we go down that road with our children, and when they get older, they're still looking for the name brand shoe. But now you're saying, I can't afford it. I no longer want you to dress that way, but yet that's how you started dressing them. So, we say, oh, well, if you take a plaid shirt, then don't put it with a striped pair of pants. Or, if the shirt has red in it, don't pick out green shoes. There's your power struggle. You created it. So here are some suggestions, okay? Yes, you get to dress those babies the way you like, but soon your children will start having opinions about what they like and don't like to wear. As early as possible, allow your children to choose their own clothes. Ask yourself, is it more important that my children be neat and color coordinated or capable and confident? Grin and bear it. When they leave the house in mismatched or terrible outfits, allow them to experience the natural consequences of their choices and learn for themselves. They will get plenty of feedback from their peers, or they might start a new trend. If your child or your children are interested in learning about color coordination, you can offer your help with choices, and they can see you as a consultant rather than a boss. Less stress, a lot of sense, makes a lot of sense. Now, as children develop stronger tastes, allow them to go shopping with you and make some choices within your budget. Get them involved in pre planning to decide what they need in advance. How many pairs of pants, tops, shoes, socks, and underwear? Help them figure out how much they have to spend so they know what it is. If they spend too much on one item, they will have to give up another item. I like that. And this is so true. This is so true. Let me tell you, when my son was younger and my daughter, and at that time, I believe it was some baby blue Jordans and some Timberlands that I had purchased. And I thought, oh, yeah, yeah, I like these. I like these. I like these. And then one day he asked me, can he go pick out his own shoes? And he picked out um, Vans. Vans. My son is now 29, and you still will not find him with all the money in his pocket. Jordans or Timberlands is the last thing on his mind and on his list to purchase. Where I was going to the mall picking out these nice, to me, they were nice shirts. You know, he went to, I think it's called Pacific Sun, to get a basic t-shirt. Till this day, he is a basic dresser. And I had to allow him to make his own decisions on what it is that he is going to wear. Now, when it's very important to you that your child dress a certain way, the president is coming to dinner, tell your child why it is important and ask for cooperation. Invite a bargain. I don't bug you 6 days a week. So I would appreciate it if you would do this for me when it is really important to me. And so I, again, truly agree with that, because sometimes, a child will not know that this is a very special, important event. And that's why I always say, pick and choose your battles. Pick and choose your battles. Now, if you are really concerned about your child and the way your child is dressing, sit in front of their school for 10 minutes as their children arrive. You will probably find that your child fits in perfectly with the outfit of the day if they are picking out their own clothing. That is so true. And you know what is crazy is that, we will look at somebody else's child and go, oh, who dressed them? Themselves. Themselves. If your child wears a uniform to school and puts up a fight some mornings, or uh, stresses the boundaries, let your child experience the consequences of a wrong choice with learning. Learning. Like, okay, this is what you want, this is what you do. And so the consequences is yours. All children go through periods where their dress choices may be a worry. Too much black, too much skin showing, too many low hanging baggy pants. Feel free to share your feelings with your children as long as you listen to theirs. They will, they'll be interested in your input as long as it doesn't sound like a lecture. And let me tell you, I agree. And like I said, when I'm reading positive discipline, there are things that I agree with, and there are some things that I disagree with. Showing too much skin? Nope. Baggy pants? Nope. Now, there are just some things that, you can bend. Showing all that skin? Nope. No, no. That's why you have to pick and choose your battles. Wearing your pants while they're sagging, your underwears are showing? No, no, no. Because if you tell them the true meaning of it and where that started, more than likely they would not want to really walk around with their pants hanging halfway off of their behinds and letting their underwear show, thinking that that is really, really cool. When When some of us, when we know, okay? So, planning ahead to prevent future problems. Set up a time in the evening as part of their bedtime routine for children to choose their clothes they want to wear the next day. When they have plenty of time to choose, they usually choose quickly. Children often use restraint as a time to rebel. When they have limited time to choose, they usually want the shirt at the bottom of the clothes hamper and insist that it be washed. So true. Dried and ironed in 20 minutes because it's the only thing in the world that they can perfectly wear and possibly wear. That is so true. I can't tell you how many times when my children were young, oh my God, especially my daughter, like, okay, get ready for school. Oh no, the pants I want is dirty. Can I wash them? It's like, are you serious? So we did have that rule. And as they got a little older, as she got older, um, she already knew like whatever's in that closet is what you're putting on. So, that was half the battle once they got older. I never went through that problem of wanting to show skin. Thank you, Jesus. I'll tell you that. Now, during the winter, put summer clothes in storage boxes and vice versa. This reduces unreasonable choices. Set up clothing allowance. Children are more likely to take better care of their clothes if they know they have to make it last until the next clothing allowance time. If children are that share clothing with their friends, stay out of it. Many children have found ways to extend their wardrobe by swapping. If clothing gets lost or isn't returned and your children are on a clothing allowance, allow them to experience the consequences of their behavior by waiting until the next financial installment to replace a lost item. Now, respect the desires of your children so you don't invite rebellion. If you are worried about what your friends think about how your children dress, ask yourself if your friends would really think you pick out those outfits. And it shouldn't even matter. When we get away from that, oh, what someone else is going to think, then we would not be instilling that in our children either. Excuse me, of always thinking, oh, what's somebody going to think? What they going to say? Oh, they're all looking at me. Yeah, let's take that out of the equation as far as what we introduce our children to. Always wondering and worrying about what the world thinks. So, life skills children can learn. Children can learn that their choices are respected, so as long as they're not harmful to themselves or others. They can learn from their mistakes and develop judgment skills. They can also learn that there are times when respect trumps a personal statement. So here are some parenting pointers. Respect invites respect. When you show respect to your children, they are more likely to respect your reasonable wishes. Children need to rebel a little to test their power and find out who they are separate from their parents. When you allow them to rebel in a safe area, like choosing their own clothes, even when you can't stand their choices, they have less need to rebel when they get older in areas that are not safe, such as drugs, before interacting in the choice your child is making. Ask yourself these questions. Is making yourself these Ask yourself before making these questions, excuse me. Will this choice be life threatening to my child? Is there any possibility that someday my child may need to make a choice when I'm not around? And that's a big one right there. That is it in a nutshell. That is it. On my other program, I always say we don't know when Jesus is coming and we don't know when we're leaving. So if it's not life threatening, and if you want your child to be able to make good choices when you're not around, back off. Allow your children to make choices and mistakes while they are still around, while you are still around, to give support and have some influence, instead of having them wait until they are on their own and make bigger mistakes because they haven't learned. And I just want to say, man, hats off to the writer of this book, because just reading these short paragraphs tells us that we have to allow them to think and figure it out, to come to their own conclusion. And we have to learn to step back and give them that leeway. Because you know what? When we're making these choices and making these choices and making these choices, that's why we can never say when they go outside that door, oh, no, not mine. They would never do. Oh, they were doing. But you were also covering it. And instead of allowing them to make a choice and speak for themselves, you was doing all the choice making and you were doing all the speaking. And so now when they do go outside the door, they're so easily influenced because someone is giving them a choice to do something that is wrong when you never allowed them to make a mistake. To me, those are the children that are easily influenced. So again, for the sake of these readings, I want to keep them short so that you would have time to process them. And it's just not something that's too overwhelming when we are speaking about positive discipline for our children. Okay. So in closing, remember that we are all in this together. By fostering a strong support network around our children, we're not only lightening the load for parents, but also enriching the experiences of our youth. So let's continue to uplift one another, share our insights, and work hand in hand to create a brighter future for our children. And thank you for being a part of this vital conversation. And let's keep building that village together. It is Sledge with To the Point 101. Let's talk about it. Enjoy the rest of your day.